Alright guys, we're going to play some Tour 10. I got 3 bags set up here. One with APOC, one with Thor's Hammer, and one with Extra Mile 8. We will be using the best driver for the hole and wind direction. The best in my opinion for that hole, for that wind. So if you are playing the same hole later on and you have a different wind direction, it might not be the best driver again. So it's the wind at that time playing that hole. So, actually, this hole, this type of wind, we are going to play with Thor's Hammer for its top spin. So the top spin is what's going to make or break this hole. And if you want to win this hole outright or have the opportunity, set a bag up with a wood club with 180 yards of distance or carry and use that. So we want to end up down there somewhere, right? So if you can get it down there with probably a power 3 ball and a a 3 wood or a wood club with 180 yards, so Big Dog, Cataclysm, Guardian would be a good club, or Max, or your yeah, that's about it. That has the 180 yard. Well, even if you would have got there with that type of with the headwind, you wouldn't have probably had an opportunity anyways, guys. So it's kind of a gamble on this hole. If you get, so if I would have hit to where I was and we would have got a tailwind, I could have had the opportunity to reach the green, where our opponent would not have been able to get there. So that's the good and the bad with this hole. And I think I just went center fairway here. So then when you lay up over here and you're shooting over this little canyon, this little bit of water, it does play, I don't even know, maybe like 20%. I'm not exact on that number, but it does play more wind than what you're seeing. So I'm going to add 20% to my ring adjustment. That's how the notebook app would work. Or if you were not playing with the notebook app, you could just add 20% to your wind. So if your wind is a 10, add 20%, so your wind would be a 12, and then adjust for 12 miles an hour wind. So we got 10, 2. Mid club here. So 5.2 is going to be our number. I should have offset the ball guide a little bit. There's 5, 1, 5, 2 right in that area. Perfect ball. Ooh, still wasn't enough on that overplay. I don't think I quite landed where I wanted to. Get in there. All right, so we'll take this to a shootout. See if we can't take down this shootout here, guys. And like I said, 2 or 10, most of the shootouts are wood clubs. There's some irons and very few drivers. And this can be played with the driver several different ways, depending on wind. I think with this type of wind and a Thor's hammer, 5 or 6, or 6 for sure, I think you have enough backspin that you can bounce on that last fairway right before the green and stop the ball, I think. Pretty good shot by our opponent there. And I think this plays, I'm going to play 20%. So 9-5. And I don't think that's going to work for me. I don't think I can adjust back far enough. I just about can. That's right at minimum club there, guys. Let's see if this has enough backspin. Not too bad. Not too bad. %20 seemed to be a pretty good number on the over adjust. Alright, let's see if we can't get a couple more 2 or 10 wins here. Like I was saying, I got 3 bags set up, 3 different drivers, I should say. And I'm going to use the best driver for each hole and wind. So, I do want to use all the drivers as well for you guys. Excuse me. So QB9, great club, really great club, guys. I like seeing this used. I don't know if I agree with his route. I mean, it's a slight headwind, and there's no benefit being over there. So, my opinion, no benefit over there. So we're going to play this time with extra mile for you. So there's our extra mile 8. And we're going to look right at 9.8. I'm going to play 10% extra. So we're going to be looking right at 5.3 on our wind adjustment. And I'm going to use no spins and just try to end up right there. So 5.3 is a slight overplay for the downhill. It could be a 20%, but that 10% seemed to funnel me perfect. So, and I always like going to the right. Always go to the right on this hole, because then I know the second shot is always the same. It's always a wood club up in this little where it narrows down by that bunker. Or if you're hitting it over here one time, hitting it over there one time. So if you're hitting it left one time or over the water one time and then back, then you start to see your problems. So this should be 13 ring adjustment, just about. Okay. So we're going to just play it safe. No backspin. Full left spin there. You can see I'm just a little bit left and long. Play our ring adjustment. That's 10, 11, 12, right about 12. Slight curl against that wind, not much. Just bouncing it up and through. So if you're always playing from that right side 100% of the time, you then will start learning what spins to use on different wind directions on your second shot. And then you will have a different spin adjustment already memorized for your second shot every time. Where if you play left one time, then you're playing with the long iron, and you do that 30% of the time, you just don't have no feel or memory for it. So just tips for that hole. That's the only hole that I really recommend only going one way. All right, so this hole here, we'll probably use APOC this time, guys. We haven't used the APOC yet. So we'll go APOC. Probably looking at 4 or 5 top spin. Something like that. Perfect shot by our opponent there. It's going to leave him right at a good number. So, APOC. So 3, there's 4 top spin. 4 top spin and 2 left spin. We're going to adjust this right at 5.8. And no curl. I have side spin and I have the wind pushing me. So I think we have what, like 8-3 wind. So 5-8. Oof. Brutal wind direction. I think I put myself right in between clubs. I do. We'll see. I'm going to set up for a long iron just in case. So I might have to do this same shot he's doing. If I'm in between clubs. $12.5 is 10 rings. Oh, we got it. We got this adjustment, guys. $10.6. Oh, great ball. That should be fine. That wind's going to be pushing. Oh, it wasn't. It came up short. So now we're going to have a tough chip out of the... I think we got to the rough. Actually, that miss hit made our ball come up short of its land zone. So pretty easy shot. We messed up. Well, nothing we can do about it. So this is going to be about a half a ring adjustment. Maybe a 3/4 ring adjustment here. I'm going to play just a little more. Ah, then I great balled it to the side I didn't want to. Oh well.